Conor, how are you?
Good, my man. What's up, all right?
Yeah, I'm very well. You're looking great as always.
Thank you so
Good
much.
to see the beaming smile once again.
Thank you. Good to be here.
What is life like in 2024 for Conor McGregor?
Training, working, hoping for opportunity, hoping for breakthrough, hoping to stay on a good path and, support my family. I pray every day I can, be well to be a good provider and a good, support for my family.
Let's talk about this mad rise, right? So in a period of 8 years, from cashing welfare checks to being classed as the highest earning sports star on the planet, according to Forbes in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about that journey from going from there to some crazy place that nobody could even imagine.
It's hectic, but it's everything that it's everything it says on the tin. It's everything I had hoped for, aspired for, everything I worked for, so I could never complain. People have real problems. The problems I face are not the real problems. I feel I can almost do anything, get anything, become anything, be anywhere. So for me, that's not so good. Not all of that is a good thing. So I must just keep a rein on myself and just, keep my family close. I've got my family here now, so I'm very happy with that. And that's it. I just steady on. More opportunity, more things present themselves that keep me occupied. That keep me distracted from what does be going on in the world today, which is at times sad to see and upsetting. So I'd like to just stay focused. I've got a hectic schedule, so I don't have time to think, and that's good for me.
Can you remember the first time you saw the UFC?
Yeah, I would have saw the UFC back in the days. It used to be on Bravo. You know that TV show Bravo? So way back, Randy, Chuck, around those times. Probably maybe before that, Tank Abbott and all. Those type of guys back in the day.
What did you think when you saw it for the first time?
I loved it. For sure, I loved it. I didn't know what it was, and I was fascinated by it. And the UFC truly is stellar. And it has allowed me to pursue my dreams, to pursue my goal of, success and adoration and, world championships. And that's it. I'm forever indebted to the UFC and forever grateful to be a part of this amazing company. And I hope long may it continue. I have 2 fights left on my contract. Hopefully this year we can do this. And, we're still first quarter of 2024, so there's a lot of time left. So I'm confident in that, and the talks are ongoing. And, after that, I would still wish to be a part of the UFC. So let's see how it goes.
How has being a part of the UFC, being a face of the UFC, enabled you then to be able to have successes elsewhere? For example, now everybody seems to talk about champ status.
Yeah.
Everybody seems to be talking about crossover fights going into the world of boxing. You were the guy that kind of kicked those doors open. Yeah. But talk to me about the platform of the UFC allowing you to then try these other things and have success elsewhere too.
Oh, it was certainly a major launch pad. To be aligned with the UFC for anyone is a major launch pad. It's one of their negotiating tactics, all right? You're with the UFC now. That in itself is prestige, which is enough to say, you could take a lower value than another area may offer you in today's climate, but it's the UFC brand value, and that holds mega weight. And I am, look at how it has worked out for me. It has helped me. It has helped catapult me into many arenas where I have succeeded immensely, via double weight status. I always reach to get better within the organization and build, of course. But that then led me to, to break down a door of a crossover fight. That then led me into the liquor business, which has been monumental for me. And, it also then led me into the movie business. So it has been a great relationship, a great partnership. That's what it is. It has been a partnership. I've said it all the way through. And I'm excited about the future. I really am excited about the future.
You talked a moment or two ago about there are downsides to obviously hitting the levels that you've hit. What are they? What are the What are the weights that come along now with being Conor McGregor?
You know, I tell you, whatever the weight is, it's like you're an animal in the zoo sometimes. You know, you're always under the watch. You're always, there's always temptation around. I can get anything I want. I can do anything I want. So even that alone can cause people to, lose themselves. So, it's just about keeping level-headed, get your training in. I think, right, and I'm only thinking about this in this movie business. I actually said it to the director the other day. I feel like I could actually play any role on planet Earth. I feel my life is so far removed from reality. Nobody knows me. Nobody really knows me. They have assumptions of me, but nobody really knows me, and that is in my favor. I feel like I could play any role. People be saying I look different every day. Every time they see me, I look different. So, if that was somewhere I want to go, I'd fancy it, but I don't actually fancy it. That's the thing. I'm not really into it, to be honest. It's a bit weird to me. Get me back in there, Blade. Octagon, lad. Yeah.
Away from the UFC, we'll come back to it in a minute, but away from the UFC, you mentioned movies, whiskey, stout, restaurants. It's all success, success, success. At some point in the future, you're not going to be able to fight, whether that's age or whatever.
Nah, there's another one I would dispute.
Okay.
Look at Tyson. Mike Tyson now is fighting Jake Paul, right?
Okay.
He's fighting him again. He fought Roy Jones also. So, there you go. That's an older guy. When he was fighting Roy Jones Jr., but something that really stuck out to me was Mike Tyson was asked, Roy Jones, also an aged guy, had retired for so long. Why? It's recalibrate your competition. There's competitions. There's a reason in jiu-jitsu tournaments there's like,
the veterans,
the veteran division and all this. So I don't really feel like I could ever call a day to it until I'm laid out flat and that's it in a box and going down into the ground. That's when I will call it a day. So something that really struck me with Mike Tyson was he was asked in an interview around the Roy Jones Jr. fight, what do you think Custamato, who was his mentor and coach, what do you think Custamato would say to you after all these years? Why come back now? What Tyson said really struck me. He said, what Cus would say to me is, what took you so long? And that really hit me. It's almost like people get weighted down with the pressure of life, uncertainty, things. You see a lot of people in their post-fight, even most recent with Dustin and with Volkanovski also, and many fighters. It's like the weight of something. Even George St. Pierre, when he originally retired, it's like a weight of something atop them. And they just allow it then to just, take them right out of the game. I'm aware that that's present. I'm aware that is present, that feeling and that thing, whatever it is. But I'm also aware that, rest, recuperation, recalibration. I'm not going to be 40-odd and looking at the 19-year-old wonder kid from wherever he's from. You know what I'm saying? Even though they might be calling me out or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Look at all of my potential opponents I have. I have gangs of opponents, literally, I could fight, that I have history with. Trilogies, secondary fights, fresh fights even. These are all similar age to me. So if these people are similar age to me, and I have an audience interested, which I do, well, who's to say these fights won't take place whenever they'll take place? Do you get me? We're all, it's to the grave, my man. It's to the grave, yeah.
Fighting feels, the way you speak about it, that's where you're at your most free? At your most...
Yeah, just because I'm in control of it. I'm in control of everything. I live good. I stay focused. I go home.
Are you calm in there?
Sure.
When it all shuts
sure.
down,
For
doesn't
sure.
matter what's going on out here, in there,
Yes.
that's where you're at.
For sure. Mm-hmm.